All right, so a byproduct of me being a YouTuber and this channel growing a little bit recently, I get about 3 emails a day that make it past my spam filter. And these emails typically have, several grammatical errors and have absolutely no business being opened, let alone being replied to. But I went against my better judgment with all these YouTubers getting hacked, and I actually replied to this email because it came from Hollyland. And it was regarding a product that I was considering anyway, the Hollyland Mars M1. So as many of you know, I actually recently got the Sony FX6 and needed a smaller 5-inch monitor because my Shinobi 7-inch monitor felt comically big on this smaller camera coming from the FX9. Now the market has tons of options out there when it comes to on-camera monitors. Some have ultra bright screens, other ones have camera controls built in, external recorders, but this one has a special feature that all the other ones do not. The Mars M1 is a camera monitor that transmits and receives video signal. The other dope feature that is especially useful to me is the fact that the Hollyland Mars M1 can also transmit video signal to up to 4 iOS or Android devices, and it can also transmit to the Mars 4K and 400S receivers. So if you have an iPad, tablet, or a phone, which most people do, you now have the ability to have that be a wireless display as well. Hollyland was also dope enough to send me the Mars 4K, which is a transmitter receiver set. So now I can actually plug it into my FX6 and use the Mars M1 as an external monitor. You'd be able to use this, like I said, as a director's monitor, or if you wanted to pass this off to the client so that way they can view themselves and see the frame and see what you're filming without being over your shoulder, which is pretty dope. My immediate use case for the Mars 4K would just be to provide a video village for clients and their team so that way they can view video playback. And since we're talking about features, here are a few more. It has built-in 4x zoom so that way you can, check critical focus, focus peaking, waveform, false color to make sure your exposure is right, zebras, frame guides, and also the ability to import 3D LUTs. And while we're here, let's run down some of the specs of the Mars M1. It has a 5.5-inch display, which tops out at 1000 nit peak brightness, SDI and HDMI input/output, so transmitter and receiver modes that go up to 4K 30, has a 450-foot range, low latency of 0.08 seconds, 3.5mm headphone jack, USB Type-C, built-in L-series battery plate, and also DC power input and output. And also this video does have a built-in subscribe and like button, so you should check that out as well. Now, if you want to buy this specifically for focus pulling, the latency is noticeable, but more than usable in my opinion. I'll take that with a grain of salt because it is based on my experience specifically. And like I said, I don't focus pull all the time, but I could see this being useful for someone that needs to. Granted, I would say that this would be more useful for someone that's, shooting on a narrative project. If you're a first AC and, you're not dealing with any fast moving subjects and the movements are pretty well choreographed and you can predict, where your focus is going to land, then this is probably going to be a good set for you. But if you're working with, fast moving objects, I don't know if this is going to be the best focus pulling set or tool for you to use. I will say that the price of this monitor and the features that it offers makes it a pretty well worth it package in my opinion. Coming in at only $550 for the Mars M1 or $1,000 for 2 of them. You can have, on-camera monitor, transmitter, and also you can have a director's monitor as well, all built in without any extra moving parts. $1,000 isn't bad for that package. And if you're going with the Mars 4K, $699 for the set isn't too bad either. I mean, it's much cheaper than anything from Teradect, and it's far superior quality than any of the lower, brands like Axoon or something like that. So I'd say that this is a nice little sweet spot if you're looking for like prosumer products. Now, of course, this isn't a review because I haven't battle tested these products and have them on a project yet, but I can run down some pros and cons pretty briefly from my little bit of experience in using them in office. Now, if you're looking at these products and you need just good video transmission tools or a monitor that doubles as a transmitter receiver, these products will do just that. They pair seamlessly and they're pretty foolproof and they just work, which in my opinion is the best kind of tool, the one that just works and you know what you're gonna get out of it and it doesn't get in the way of your creative process. I would say that this is like a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. It's a good all-around product, but it's not the best in any category. If you're just looking to have a good image, something that will help you, frame your subject, you have decent tools, to get proper exposure like zebras and histograms, then this is probably a good product for you. And also you also really like the ability for it to transmit video to other devices like iPads, phones, other Hollyland products like the Mars and the 400S. I'd say that this is a no-brainer. But those are some of the knocks that I have on it. The false color is usable, but I'm so used to the false color coming out of small HD, or even the Atomos false color is better than this false color. This false color brightens up the image on screen quite a bit, and it takes out all your shadows. I don't know, maybe it's just the color mapping on it. I don't know, something's weird about it. It throws me off when using it. Also, the boot up time, it takes several seconds to boot up, which is something that is really noticeable to me coming from a small HD Indy 5. It boots up super quick. So if you need something that's really good for run and gun, that's not going to slow you down, this may not be the best choice. Like I said, it's still usable. I mean, 10 seconds, 15 seconds isn't too bad to get your image up. But it is also, like I said, very noticeable coming from something like a small HD that's much faster. Let me give you a brief demo of the boot up time. All right, just press the button. There you go, just popped up, battery's low. All right, so it just popped up. On screen I'll have the timer, and that's how long it would take to connect wirelessly. If it was plugged directly in the camera, it'd be a little bit quicker than that. But if you're using this for wireless video transmission, that's how long it would take to boot up and give you an image. And now in short, I'll be putting this to use immediately for YouTube videos. Like I said, I'm using it right now. It's a pretty handy little tool. And if you want to check it out for yourself, I'll leave any links down below in the description. I'll look for the best deal, whether it be Amazon, B&H, or wherever I find it. And I'll put that link down below in the description so that way you guys can get the best deal on it. But yeah, it's been a pleasure as usual. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this content and you want to see much more like it, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. And until next time, stay fresh. Peace.